Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and to another Hack Your Home video. Today we are back cleaning a flat, which is actually one of my viewers' fathers. He's an elderly man, he's about 84, and his flat had got really dirty. You may have already seen the first part of this video, but if you haven't, I'll link that in the description and you can go and check that out. In that one, we cleaned the kitchen mostly and then a few other bits as well, but we left the bathroom because we just couldn't get everything done in one day. So we're back again today to clean the bathroom, which is very filthy. So it's going to be really nice to help him out. It really is quite messy. There's some products that we're just going to clean up, but really it is like the grime and the lime scale that's in the bathroom itself. So we're going to film it for you guys. I'll tell you a bit more of his story as well, as I always do, and I really hope you enjoy it. The last time we were here, when we walked in initially, we were like, oh, it's not that bad. Like, yeah, it's a bit dirty, you know, whatever, it's not that bad. But then once we got into it, we were like, oh, okay, this is actually really needed. And there were like cockroaches.
That's what did it, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's like my biggest fear. You probably heard me say that in the last video, and a lot of them were not alive because they have treated the area, but still it was a bit scary, wasn't it? And the second we got home, I just completely
put me off my dinner last night. Took
all my clothes and shoes off and washed them all because I was like, please don't want to bring this into my house. If you haven't seen that one, go and check it out.
We're basically just like hanging out in the car because
yeah, we're gearing ourselves
procrastinating.
We're gearing ourselves up for this. My husband Matt is helping again. Thank you, Matt.
Couldn't get anyone else that was willing.
No.
And we was going to get some help today, weren't we?
Very supportive.
We was having help today, but
oh yeah, so we were going to have a team of cleaners come in with us, but it's quite a small flat and we were like, do you know what, we've only got one room left that we really have to do because he doesn't want us in his bedroom at all. And actually it's quite a lot for him because he's 84. Yeah. We were there for hours yesterday, obviously cleaning the kitchen, and by about 2 o'clock he was like, are you done now?
Oh,
like, can you go?
Yeah.
He was so knackered.
But you can imagine, like, if you've lived on your own for that long, like having, even though he's got about 6 chairs in his lounge, like he obviously doesn't have people there.
We were like in his space and he just wanted to have a nap. And actually when we finally left, he was laying on his bed like this. I know he would have just fallen asleep as soon as we walked out the door.
Yeah. So he was tired him out watching us clean.
Oh yeah, he was tired. I hope it'll give him a bit of a lift.
I think his daughter more than anything, because she's got so much pressure on her.
Yeah, it's like a lot on her. Like, she visits once a week and she does what she can, but she's got 2 kids. And yeah, anyway, I will tell you a bit more of the story, but we're gonna go in.
You go first, yeah? Just got to make a call.
Okay, let's do it. So when we arrived, this is what the bathroom looked like, and as I mentioned, we cleaned the kitchen and other areas the day before, but we kind of left this room because we knew it would take quite a bit of time, and we probably cleaned this room for about 3 hours. One of the biggest problems, or the hardest thing to clean, was the lime scale. There was so much of it all around the taps, all around the sink there. You can probably see it. It was really caked on, and we put like a lime scale treatment on it, but you know, it was quite tricky to get off, and there was so much lime scale in the toilet. There was also, I think he's got 3 mops, but it doesn't look like he actually uses them, obviously because he's getting a lot older. And this is me kind of chatting to him about his shower because it really wasn't great, and he told me that it's actually 50 years old and he desperately needed a new one. But actually when I was leaving the building and I was talking to someone who helps to like maintain it and works at the building, she did tell me that they are due to have a big revamp next year, so they should actually be getting new bathrooms, which is great news because he really does deserve one. I mean, look at the ceiling. There was a leak from above, I believe, and it's made the ceiling really damp, and it's just, I mean, there's even so much limescale on the floor. So I guess where it hasn't been like regularly deep cleaned or wiped down, it's just kind of formed. So the first thing that we wanted to tackle was the toilet, because we knew we'd need as much time as possible for it to like the product to soak in. And as we did in the last Hack Your Home, I'm actually doing like the Coke hack. So you take all of the water out of the toilet with a mop, and then you actually fill it with Coca-Cola. This is worrying because people drink this, but it's actually amazing at removing lime scale. So I'm putting 3 bottles of Coke into that, and we're going to let it sit for as long as possible. I actually wish I had done it the night before so that it had been soaking overnight, because it probably could have done with a little bit longer. But anyway, I'm going to leave that to soak, and while it is, I'm going to get on with this area, which is where all of his products are. So I'm going to take all of his products off of the shelf, and as I was going through them, if there were any like really old razors or lids that didn't belong to anything, I was just chucking them. But I want to get this surface cleared so that I can give it a really good wipe down, and the tiles behind it as well. He's got loads of products, so I kind of just want to make them a bit more organized if I can, but he does also need them all to be within reach. Similar to when we cleaned his kitchen, he wanted a few items like out on the surface so that he can easily just reach them. So the same here really. So I've got an idea which I wanted to show you guys, but first off, I'm just wiping down this surface with my Flash spray wipe done for the bathroom. I love using this. It's such a great like easy cleaner. So I'm just giving that a good wipe down, and actually the tiles look really clean now. So I picked up these baskets just from Poundland, so I thought they might be good to store some of the overflow of things he has. And while I was in Poundland, I also saw this can organizer. It was only £3. It was reduced because there was like a scratch on the back, but it's perfect for this. So this way it kind of gives all of his products a place, makes it feel more organized, but everything is still out and visible for him to see. I'm going to wash his toothbrush cup because it really needed it, and just organize his things like this. So in the 2 baskets next to it, I'm putting 1 basket for shavers and all of his shaving items, and then another one for all of his soap, because he's got a really good stock of soap. I think when his daughter visits, she'll bring like food and soap and razors, but he's actually got quite a few. So this way you can easily take stock of everything that he's got. So yeah, just gonna carry on organizing his products like this.
I don't think we got enough time to sort out all the fights, to sort out all the lies. Oh baby, yeah. There was a part of me that knew that, and still I'm caught by surprise. I thought you'd always be mine. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. I just thought I should let you know. Now, no words no more, no. I got so high on a low. That's when I loved you the most. Now I thought I should let you know. Now, no words no more, no.
Then over here in this corner, I started to clear it, and there were quite a few bugs. Most of them were not alive. As I said, they've sprayed a treatment, but they haven't necessarily cleaned up after. But I wanted to clear this corner because he's got a vacuum that he doesn't necessarily use. He's got bags of paperwork. You can see a bug crawling up the wall, you guys. I didn't see it when I was there, but I'm seeing it now in the edit. So I'm kind of glad I didn't see it when I was there. And now I'm going to sweep this area. So obviously someone's got to go through that paperwork and stuff, but his daughter has been brilliant at doing all that kind of thing. So I'm just going to get the majority of the dirt up and then spray a limescale treatment on the floor areas that are really suffering. It was quite bad in the corners here, but I want that to be soaking for an hour or so before I try and scrub it off, and then same with the sink and the taps. So I'm going to leave that there to soak for a bit before I wash it. It's going to do the shower as well. The shower head was especially covered in limescale, so I really wanted to get that cleaned, and all the fittings, fixtures and stuff. And then I'm also going to wipe down the tiles themselves. So yeah, it's been sitting there for a little while, so I'm going to start scrubbing and see how much I can get off. And then once I scrubbed once, then I would like respray spray to like keep giving it a chance to get as much of the lime scale off as we can. I'm also going to wipe down the toilet. I'm using a new cloth for this, and I'm just wiping it from head to toe. It was actually quite bad on like the under part of the toilet as well, so I'm just going to give it a really good deep clean before we start trying to get all of the lime scale off as well. I was going to wipe down the radiator just because it was like quite dusty. So yeah, just going to give everything a good clean, and then I'm going to start washing the shower tiles.
I really thought we had it covered. Was gonna patch up all the scars, but we smashed up all the parts. Oh na na na. Always knew that you were stubborn, but didn't know it'd be so hard to figure out who you really are. I guess our dreams fell asleep. There's no passion in the comatose. Baby going down, 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 down. Baby going down, 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 down. Tried so hard to stay afloat. Yeah, we keep moving like the river goes. Baby going down, 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 down. Yeah. And I thought, it's time I'm letting you go. This time I know it for sure. Just thought I should let you know that now, no words no more, no. I got so high on a low. That's when I loved you the most. Now I thought I should let you know that now, no words no more. We're done now, no words no more. We're done now, no words no more. We're done now, no words no more, no, no. We're done now, no words no more. We're done now, no words no more. We're done now, no words no more, no, no.
Okay, so now we're going in with a knife to get the remaining lime scale off. I've since ordered one of those cleaning scrapers. I've never had one before, but I think it would be really handy for stuff like this, or you know, when you're cleaning your oven and you just want to give it a good scrape. So I've ordered one of those for next time, but this knife did actually get all of the lime scale off of that drainage part there, the plug itself, and around the taps as well. And you would have seen that I was cleaning the floor with a huge green scrubby. It was so grimy that I felt like it really needed a good scrub, so I did that a few times. Then we're going to tackle the lime scale in the toilet. Again, we're using the knife. Really should have got that scrapey thing before this because it was quite time consuming. But then we're also going to tackle some of the lime scale on the floor. In this corner, there was like a mop bucket sitting there. So I think there's just been water around the edges for ages, and it's kind of become lime scale like this. After we soaked it with that lime scale cleaner, it did break off quite easily with the knife, so really pleased. It looked so much better afterwards. Also gave it a really good scrub, and this section just here by the radiator as well. I thought, I wonder if the rad itself is leaking or if it's just like because it's maybe a bit of a wet room. I'm not sure. It looks like we're scratching the floor here, but it actually wasn't. Like, we just wipe it and it was absolutely fine. But as you can see, so much dirt was coming up. Matt also wiped down the rad a bit more. It really was quite dusty, like in all the corners and stuff. And then I'm going to wipe down the floor with this mop. It's so great. There's like floor wipes on it. And as you saw, I scrubbed it by hand to get the like really hard bits off. But then I used this mop and so much dirt was coming up, as you can see here. I went around with a couple of different wipes and it seemed so much better after I had done that. So now the floor is clean. I'm also going to give him a new towel. I picked this up in Sainsbury's this morning. The one he was using, it just seemed really old, so we got him a nice new big fluffy towel that he can use. And that is how the sink is looking. I'm so pleased with how it's turned out. It was literally shining. All of his products seemed so much more organized. I feel like you can walk in here, he can see everything that he has. His daughter can as well. Like, does he need anything? Oh, and I also added a third little basket from Poundland, which I put some toilet rolls in and also a couple of cleaning products products, so that's like within easy reach. There's 3 rolls of toilet paper, and then he's got like a spray if he wants one. Sorry if you can hear building work in the background of this voiceover. We're having some work done today, and yeah, I'm just gonna wipe the floors one more time just to really make sure we've got everything up. But that is pretty much everything that we're going to do today in here, but we're so pleased with how it's turned out. I really feel like you could see and smell the difference. It just smelled really fresh, and it looked so much brighter and lifted and like a bit more organized as well. So I really hope he likes it. He seemed very appreciative. So yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'm so glad you guys are liking this series, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye guys.